And welcome back to the Buddy Smudge Podcast. I'm Chase.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sean.
And today, get ready to roll some dice.
Oh!
We're talking about great tabletop game, Dungeons and Dragons.
Some D&D.
We're going to steer a little bit away from like the homebrew stuff. I know everyone likes to do homebrew, but we're talking mainly about some of our favorite campaigns we've played.
From 5th edition.
5e.
Books only. All
this,
right.
This is their most recent edition. But they've been pumping stuff out for it.
Oh, have they?
Like,
Yeah.
tons of material.
It's like a new book every few months, feels like.
Yeah, like a new quest or something.
And then like expansions, different books where, you know,
yeah, for sure.
new races you can play as, you know,
Oh,
tons
yeah.
of support.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
But yeah, D&D, great game. We're gonna get into, I'm gonna say, our top adventure. We've each kind of chosen an adventure that we like, and
Yeah.
we're gonna go through it. We're gonna talk about its likes, its dislikes, and what makes it tick.
Yeah.
So, Sean, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start. So my adventure, I chose Out of the Abyss.
Classic. Knew it.
This is an old Rage of Demons campaign.
Uta.
And, I mean, when I first got the book, I got the book something like a year and a half before I actually started doing the campaign with you guys.
Caveat: Sean was the DM for this.
Yeah, I was. I read the entire book about 4 times before we start. I was super into it, and like, I mean, spoilers, obviously. I guess it's not major
really spoilers
because like
because
every game would run different.
every game's
yeah,
different.
so you start the game in this prison in the Underdark, and which is like this like world beneath the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, and you're these prisoners of the Dark Elves, but you have to like waste your time worrying about these prisoners on top of yourself. Like, I feel like as a DM, I was still kind of a young DM at that point, so I often felt that like I wasn't conveying the right emotions. You know what I mean? So maybe that's like a dislike. Is that my
Actually,
own...
no, I don't really know what you mean. Kind of explain that a little.
Yeah.
Like,
So the whole campaign is based around madness,
Gotcha.
about going crazy, right?
Yeah.
And you're constantly assailed by horrible things happening to you, and there's always something out to get you lurking in the shadows. There's never a moment where you can rest and relax.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know, I always felt like I wasn't able to get that point across.
Okay.
And I felt like I was kind of like a young DM at the time, and so I wasn't really able to get my players in the mood. Did it ever came across that way, that like it was just kind of silly or just like not the horror vibes that I was trying to get across?
Well, so that's a really tough question because like our D&D group, and feel free to disagree with me, both of you, but I feel like we are more of a beer and pretzels group. And what I mean by that is we really like to have fun.
Yeah.
It's hard because we've evolved, and I think like our group's gotten bigger and we've added more people and stuff. And over the years, we've become a little more stat blocky, and we've become a little more serious and a little bit more serious to the role play. But when I think of D&D, I think of back when we were goofing around. So it sometimes is hard when you're trying to convey dark themes or seriousness when your players are trying to be silly.
I mean,
For sure.
So I think that's not all on you. That's a part of us
Okay.
as players, where we're trying to be silly, but you're trying to set the mood, right? So
Yeah.
we're maybe working against you, but at the same time, I do have memories of the quest being, and that's a like for me, very dark.
Yeah.
I like dark quests. I think it's cool to dive into topics that I don't get to in the real world, and so being in the Abyss, and also in Out of the Abyss, if you've ever read any D&D books, a lot of D&D lore takes place in Drizzt and stuff in that place. So it was really cool to be down there and
see, and I think Drizzt is in that campaign.
Yeah,
so,
he
so you
is.
could see him like.
But that was a big like for me, is that it was dark, it was unsettling, and it beat you to a pulp. You didn't have
There was no downtime.
you didn't
Yeah.
get to go buy stuff, and you didn't. I mean, in D&D, we're pretty lax. You can pretty much buy whatever you want. You didn't get to rest. You didn't get to.
Yeah.
You were go 24/7 because guess what? Demons don't wait.
Exactly.
That was the point.
That was actually something that I really wanted to put into the campaign. And what a big like for me is that there was always a clock. And
Yeah.
like the longer you waited, the worse it got.
Yeah.
So
It-
I was having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, out of the Abyss was one of those where it was you don't really make a good or bad decision. You make the best of the worst decision. You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
It's- we didn't lose so hard tonight. That's what happens.
Can I
But-
guess your dislike?
Yeah, you can guess one of my dislikes of Out of the Abyss.
Go easy on me.
No. I didn't mean that harshly. I just meant like I think I have one that you're not going to guess because it's kind of random. But go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're the only one without dark vision.
Okay, yeah, that's
funny.
true. I was the only person without dark vision. but
Andrew likes to play humans.
I do. I took it like a champ though. It's okay.
No, you didn't.
Don't worry.
I
It was
think-
awesome.
I think that that's going to be a dislike for D&D in general for me, especially in 5th edition. Everyone has dark vision, so darkness is never scary. You know what I mean?
Well, and anyone that's played it so many times, I think, are like, need this because it's useful.
yeah.
Or, same with like certain languages. You get, sometimes
Yeah.
your background can give you a few languages, and it's like,
Especially as a human, because you get extra languages and stuff. So I'll end up knowing 5, and I'm just like, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Why do I know 5 languages? But
Or I
also,
remember there's like some writing. You're like, oh, that's this. Well, what's the writing in? Oh, it's in like Elven or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, this one person over here can read it. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
to go off on a teeny tangent, and we're not going to like dive hard into mechanics, but I think dark vision is one of those things that people glance over because technically the way dark vision works is think of it as like a scale. Everything just gets toned down one.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like if you see clearly, damn it, I'm having a hard time explaining this, but like dark vision, it's still hard to see.
Right.
Guys, it's not, it's, you can maybe see a couple feet in front of you. Like,
Right.
it's just, you're not in pitch black.
Yeah.
So I think a
It's-
lot of
you
people
can
like,
you can see clearly 60 feet out.
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's still a lot of room
Yeah,
to play
I mean
there.
I mean it's not like a clear blue sky.
you're
on an
not
open
seeing
day
the
vision,
entire
but-
football field. You're in a cave, like,
Yeah.
it's still, I would maybe talk to the players and be like, listen, I know you have dark vision, but you're in a freaking cave below the earth. It's still
Yeah.
hard to see. You can't, like, just because you can see 60 feet in front of you doesn't mean
So you're gonna see
there's going to
everything.
be 60
Yeah.
feet in
Yeah.
front of you. So I think there's a little wiggle room there, but I mean,
I listened to a blah blah blah. I listened to a DM who he was like, you know what? Just only people who are like really good at seeing in the dark, like dark elves, they have dark vision. Everyone else doesn't.
yeah, I think,
And I was like,
if,
that's a good homebrew rule.
if your table agrees to that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. Dislikes, again, I'm not bashing it too hard, but the only thing I didn't really care for was I felt like in the beginning we were playing NPC simulator. There
Yeah.
were
Oh,
so
there's like 10, I think,
and again,
NPCs you
not-
start off with.
there was just way too many NPCs, and it's hard because as the DM you want the players to care about certain NPCs, and they always gravitate towards the ones you don't want them to care about.
Yep.
And we got to the point where we're like, you know what, we don't care about these prisoners. Screw them, whatever. Just like, I don't want to learn their names. I don't want, just get them out of here. Like, we want to go. Let's go.
You guys attached to the
Like one
little
or two.
mushroom guy.
Yeah, and I think
Stool was his name. He was just
That
like this
name.
tiny little mushroom.
but
He was a little myconid. That was his name. I think I have two favorite moments from that campaign. So, I mean, I feel like I've already explained this, but the idea in general is that, like, there's demons emerging from the realm and you have to, like, contain them, right? The first time that you actually see, like, a demon in person, you go to, like, this little fish town.
yeah,
right?
I remember that.
It's got about 400 ridiculously made up names. Like, it's like, you enter the village of Poop Bloop Bloop Bloop.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
This is the village leader, Bloop Bleep Blop Bloop. And it's like, oh my god, stop. Like I couldn't keep a straight face, and it's a really intense moment because like this demon lord emerges from the water, and just like starts wrecking the place, and I'm like, oh no, he just got the blah 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 blah.
Not hard to guard, are.
So dumb. That's funny. Oh man! But my second favorite moment, very far into the campaign, almost near the end, actually. You come across this intense magical artifact called the Maze Engine, and it just has like these reality warping powers, and you guys were messing with it over and over and over again.
Oh yeah!
And there's a table in the book that's like, whenever they mess with it, roll on the table. This is what happens. Okay, and I roll for one of the results, and I was like, okay, guys, we don't have to do this. And you're like, no, let's do it. And I was like, okay. And they like reset time to the very, very beginning of the campaign, and they were like, no,
NPC simulator again.
They were so upset. But I think a lot of good came from it because you had already played through the campaign, so that was just like speed simulator where you're like, go here, grab this, get over here, grab this, get back.
I think
It was really fun.
I really only had one dislike in that game, and it was Andrew and I are like, you know what? We need to get the team back on track.
I remember that conversation.
We need to.
We wanted to like get the quest stuff done because we were kind of like dragging our feet a little.
Yeah, I mean, we played sometimes with a really big group, and so
Turns take a while.
and this one day we were playing and we were knocking stuff out. Andrew and I were on a roll. We're like leading the other team, like the rest of everyone. We're being like, all right, like take your turn, cool. Now, okay, who's next? Okay, cool. You know, just like on top of things. And then we were under some sort of spell, and then
It
we
was a
woke
classic.
up.
Oh, it was a dream.
That was
Yeah.
really bad timing.
It really was, and I think
You were fighting the demon lord of illusions.
so. Everything we did like didn't count for anything, and I was just like, there should have been a will check the whole game for me to break out of that, like or something. But like, I mean, it all worked out in the end. It was just bad timing because like, I think Chase and I felt like we were dragging our feet, and we're like, man, we need to get these quest items, but for some reason we're just taking forever. So let's get one. Let's finally go get one.
You know,
And
and they
then-
got like 6. Or
Yeah, we
something,
got
like all at once.
We got like 3 or something, like back to back. I'm like, holy crap, we're killing it.
I think that was
I guess
just, like,
that
my
should have been a
only
hint.
dislike.
That should have been a hint. I
Well,
guess,
that was the
like-
hint. Actually, it was like as soon as they realized like this is too easy, then it's like, oh no.
Yeah, then we.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I remember that.
good times.
That was fun. But that's my favorite campaign. I mean, I
a good one.
still want to redo it to this day. Like
That's how you know it's a good one. Though.
I know
You
that
wanna
one
go-
back and
you
forwards,
wanna
yeah.
Go back to it.
Andrew, what's
Oh,
yours?
Well, now that we're on the subject of dark topics, my favorite campaign is The Curse of Strahd. Always will be.
I know a lot of people who that's their favorite one.
This campaign has so much support on Reddit and Discord. It is insane.
Yeah.
It's so helpful because people have fleshed it out. They've made up extra stuff. They have given you tips on where the book has gone wrong, where you need to maybe tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, this is a campaign that existed in later, I think, second edition, something ridiculous. And they brought it back, and everyone didn't mind. They actually loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Most people, I think, would crap on it, but some of my likes, I love dark themes. I love how dark it is. I think that there's a lot you can do when you explore dark themes in D&D. You can push people's morality. You
Yeah.
can really see what people do under pressure. And
A lot of the choices are like, do this horrible thing or this also horrible thing.
and if you choose not to do either, you're also horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember the first time we played through.
and I was a young DM at the first one. I
First
just
one
kind
was
of
my
made a
favorite
lot of
by
it up.
far. That was probably one of my favorite times playing. That was the first time I was brave enough to like figure out magic. 'Cause
Oh,
up
yeah.
until that point, I've never played anyone who knew magic
Yeah,
or like
I got spellcaster.
it
Yeah,
was
just
really
handed
confusing.
someone a spell book's really intimidating.
So I did
Yeah.
a bunch of research, and I landed on a warlock, sorcerer, warlock.
Warlock,
Warlock,
yeah.
yeah, you're
Because
Warlock.
I remember you found out how much damage they do, and you were like, whoa!
And I wasn't like, statting up the game or anything.
No,
but-
they just combo off well because
Yeah.
you do this. Oh, I get a free Eldritch Blast, or
Yeah.
I do this, or whatever.
I mean, I think I really like that because ever since then I've just love spellcasters.
Yeah.
It's just that first time. So if any of you are having a hard time just trying to,
If you-
get into doing the spells, it's actually really simple. Because I think all of our first time playing D&D was like right out of high school, and it wasn't 5e.
No, it's not.
No, it was fourth.
We started
I
on
think.
4th.
Yeah.
And that one was hella confusing because, like, I remember our DM, he was, like, helping us, like, teaching us. And we're making, like, flashcards and all this stuff. And I was
I
like, okay, so I could
remember
do,
that.
like, this once per day, but, like, this. And it was just so confusing. I think that's what turned me off to spellcasters until Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, it was 4th E was. I mean, we could do a whole thing on 4th E. Just but real quick, it was almost too handholdy, where it was just like, here's what you do, here are your feats, here are your spell. Whereas 5th edition, it was kind of like, pick your spells, you can kind of make what you like. I want to be more utility, I'll be more utility. I
Yeah,
want to be more
yeah.
damage, I'll be more damage. But one of the other things I like about Curse of Strahd, and maybe you guys feel free to disagree, it's very simple. You know going in how you're gonna win. Like
Yeah.
listen, I'm here, I'm stuck in Barovia, we're gonna kill Strahd. That's the whole
Like,
game.
This is the guy.
That is the game. And I like that it's simple, but there's also enough mystery shrouded in him that you'll find his journal, you'll find out. And again, we didn't really get to finish the second go through, but there is little bits of mystery in there. But the overall theme, you know what's going on. You know you could go to the castle and get your ass kicked. But you don't do it.
Mm.
And the first time I ran Curse of Strahd, I thought it would be fun, and a lot of DMs do this, to introduce him just right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it
Oh,
scared
yeah.
a lot of people, and I thought that was cool. Anyway, I just remember that scene, like you guys just let him in and feed on the girl, and then he left, and I was like, okay, bye.
I
That's
mean,
fun.
what are you gonna do?
I know, yeah, you're right. Though.
I think I was playing either a gnome or a halfling.
yeah,
And
you were.
I was like being a little bastard, just like I'm strong, and he just like backhanded
Smite.
me,
Yeah.
Like,
slam against the wall, like okay, like, check please.
Won't do that again.
so, Curse of Strahd, and this is like one of the things that was really interesting because my like is also my dislike.
Oh, okay.
I really like how when you made Strahd play to, I'll give you this.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
you know,
play to our weakness.
Play to our
Yeah.
weakness. Like, I loved it and I hated it. The reason, like, I loved it because,
and
like,
he's not like that in the book. That was just me.
I
being
know, I
dumb.
know.
But
I loved that whole thing because it started pitting the players against each other a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Which-
definitely.
Part was part of my dislike because, like, sometimes it got a little out of control. But
that was more of a role playing issue.
From a
where-
storytelling perspective, amazing.
Yeah.
yeah,
From a player perspective, it was a little frustrating.
Yeah.
but I mean that's one thing that was, cool because I can't remember which path I chose as the warlock, but there's like you can conjure weapon,
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
like Strahd gave me like 2 of those, just like something weird, but I don't know. I really liked that whole thing, and especially with the whole Strahd, like, just really awesome villain.
Yeah. Yeah. Good villain.
And someone like, and you interact with him
And,
throughout the game.
Yes,
yeah,
you
like
do.
actual deep
compared to
lore.
like,
This isn't like, oh, it's big baddie at the end, see him for 2 seconds. No, he's
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, some of the dislikes, if you've got a player who sounds so dumb when I say it, but if you have a player who's not feeling it, they really won't feel it, because there's nothing worse than trapping someone, and you're literally trapped in Barovia.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that concept, you're going to have a bad time. Like,
Yeah.
if you're like, this is an open world, I should be able to do what I want. Well, there are limits. You cannot leave Barovia. Well, I want to go by this. Well, that sucks because this doesn't exist in Barovia.
Yeah.
And so you are a little tight at the hands at some point where, and even in the book, they say like everything's triple the price. Everything is,
Yeah.
this is a world that is not of the world. So you can lose a little bit of open world in that sense. Also, if you have someone who does not like dark themes, they will not like this. If you don't like the concept of murder, torture, people being taken advantage of. Like, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with that like if you're agreeing to this campaign, and of course
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your DM usually gives you like a little bit of backstory and stuff, like play a character that is willing to do the adventure. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Because like if you go into an adventure and your character is like, oh well my character wouldn't save the princess or whatever, kill Strahd, then like okay, then pick a player who will. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
because now
It's
you're
just-
just being difficult.
Yeah, exactly. And like, of course, like, there are things I think that are okay to explore, but like as long as they make sense.
Sure.
Like, don't be throwing in random stuff. And I think a lot of people think that dark themes and Curse of Strahd is an excuse to just destroy players. I don't think that's appropriate at all. Like, you can't just be giving out random diseases and
Yeah.
random things unless they're actually like actively doing stuff to do that.
Sure. Yeah.
But,
I mean, or like if it's interesting, like it doesn't
yeah,
it doesn't have to be like mean, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like
But-
maybe crippling someone at that time would make it really interesting. I don't know.
There's something that whenever Andrew DMs, something that he does that I always love.
Oh yeah.
So at the beginning of the game, he gives you an option: extra starting gold or a magic item.
Or like a weird magic.
It's a
item.
weird magic item. Like
Not
I-
like
It's-
it's,
I mean,
very situational.
very
like-
situational. But like I always choose the magical item because it's always like something cool.
It's always cool. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
one of my favorite ones was there's like this scarab that all it did was once a day it would like wake up, eat one of your coins, and then go to bed and like sleep.
yeah.
Oh, I think did it look like a gold piece?
It looked
I
like
think it
gold.
looked-
Yeah, it looked
yeah.
like a gold, and then it like turned into a scarab. It eat a gold, and then it go to bed.
And one thing I was like, man, I don't know what to do with this until we met this dragon sitting on this huge pile of gold, and I was just like, chucked it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, over time.
Over time, this dragon's gonna go crazy. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I think it's fun just because you get to reward creative players. For
Well, and you have to
doing-
try to figure out what it does too.
Yeah.
Which, like Sean,
Yeah, so this isn't in Curse of Strahd, but this is one of my favorite stories from all of D&D.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Andrew gave me this ring of something. It's just this ring magic item. I had no clue what it did. So every so often in combat, I'd just be like, "Yeah," and I'm like, and he's like, "Nothing happens," and I'm like, "Ah, damn." But we were on this pirate ship fighting a bunch of harpies or whatever,
Yeah.
and I was trying to get up in the air to get them. So I said, "Okay, I jump," and Andrew was like, "Oh, okay." So apparently it was a ring of like enhanced jumping. And he's like, "Go ahead and roll your athletics." I think I got like a nat 20 and just like jumped 30 feet in the air. Just like,
Yeah, because like like on a pirate ship, like to go from the top deck to the bottom deck, there's stairs, but those got blown out. So you were trying to jump from one to the other.
Yeah.
But you jumped like the full mast of the ship.
just like 50 feet in the air. And I was like, "Whoa!" With that same ring, as I was trying to like jump up a cliff, but I failed the check and jumped out from the cliff.
So, yeah, you
Just,
went, like,
straight
60.
into the ocean. Oh, that was fun.
Too OP, man.
You remember
tight.
my chessboard of lasers?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say. The chessboard of lasers. That was the chessboard where the game would never end. It would always just keep going. But good time. Anything else you got? What guys? What did you not care for in Curse of Strahd?
In Strahd? See, again, like I keep thinking of like bad times I had, but looking back, like I was like, no, that was kind of cool
Yeah.
that happened. I had like this animated armor as a companion. They walked around with me. I got really attached to this animated armor, and Andrew just blew the out of it. Just like blew it to pieces.
That was Yester Hill. That was the if they hit the center tile on the hill, and if it rolls right, lightning strikes, and it struck. It was a 50-50. It was going to hit you or him,
Yeah.
and it hit him, and it did like lightning in D&D does like catastrophic damage.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it got obliterated.
Just like blew him to pieces. And I
Yeah.
remember being like so upset. But I think like looking back on it, that was like a hallmark of
Yeah.
good storytelling, because I was attached to that character, and like it was tragic to lose him. You know what I mean?
Anyway, we'll move on. Chase, what do you got?
So this one's a little different. Still in the 5e world,
Yeah.
but it adds a homebrew aspect. So it's a Ravnica. You have a
Magic.
book.
Yeah, there was a book called Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica,
Yep.
but it never like did like a full campaign. It was just like, oh, here are some rules of the world.
It's just like, hey, Magic the Gathering, this is what it'd be in D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Sean built a whole campaign on it. Which was
We had a lot of fun with that.
Pretty
one.
awesome.
That was a
Yeah.
good one. That was a really good one.
For those of you who don't know, Ravnica has these 10 guilds, and each guild is like a combination of two of Magic's colors, and each color has like a sort of personality. So like black, for instance, is kind of selfish and dark and has to do with like the dead. So if you combine that with blue, which is more like magic-y, then you get like this sort of spy network who uses the knowledge to subterfuge everyone else, you know.
Yeah.
And
I kind of like to think of it as like tons of branches of government almost. 'Cause,
almost,
like,
yeah.
you know, the black and blue combo is more of your underground Illuminati kind of stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And, you know, you've got your white and green, which is all about Parks and Rec. And,
oh,
you
yeah.
know,
all
so-
the hippies.
Yeah, so like all of these colors combined, you can find what I would call a branch of government to kind of associate yourself with.
Definitely.
Which, I mean, that's half the fun of Ravnica is just being a part of your guild.
Yeah.
And feeling like, I don't know, that you're a part of this big organization, and I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
And one of the things I really loved about Sean's campaign with this was one of our goals was to become planeswalkers.
Yeah.
And I love that whole
to travel between the dimensions.
you know, traveled dimensions. We were like gods in one of the dimensions.
Oh, that's right. That was
We had
fun.
was it a kraken? No, the deep sea monster.
Yeah, so that was a Kraken. There's like what was it? Ixalan with the
Yeah.
pirates.
Mhm.
But there was a Kraken that
That has like insane health, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we just like sicked some demon on it.
So yeah, so one of the patrons of the guilds at Ravnica is this demon named Rakdos, and they convinced Rakdos to go to Ixalan and beat the shit out of this Kraken.
Because it was sitting on treasure that I wanted.
But it was fun. Like
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun with that one.
I think we like went straight to his ego, like, oh yeah, this thing's totally stronger than you.
One of the things that I kind of messed up on because I didn't really know the impact it would have. But you went to the City of Gold,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, you can probably transport like a house. And so you're like, we transport the whole house made of solid gold. And I was like, okay, well, let's calculate that. And I was like, oh, geez, this is like $600 billion worth of gold. They just didn't need anything the rest of the game.
But I like
Just like-
it was a very different aspect because instead of like penny pinching and all this stuff,
yeah.
we could just buy whatever we wanted.
Yeah, but also you had the stress of having that much money.
That's true.
Because they
Yeah.
had to like find someone to protect it, and
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
the banks are banks are corrupt when you have that much money and stuff like that. But to go along with the money, that was the first campaign in all of D&D that we really sidetracked it to. How do I say this? We made a home base.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
We actually
they spent
put,
their money well.
and we spent a ton of time and research into like buying a business and operating it. We had like basement. We had like
We ran like a nightclub. Out of the
yeah,
top,
we actually like detoured from the quest to kind of world build in the world,
That was really cool.
which was fun because normally when you play D&D, it's like, oh yeah, we camp on the side of the road. Let's just keep go. And
Yeah.
we actually had a lot of cool downtime, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
which was very cool. Yeah, good quest.
I love Ravnica.
Me too.
It's fun to see the
Talking
magic
about it, I
lore.
want to run it again.
Well, I hope this gave future DMers out there some good ideas.
And maybe some confidence to some players who want to try something out.
I I think I've tried my hand at DMing once, and I just don't like it.
You,
I love
good
playing.
DM.
I was into your camp. He ran like a steampunk campaign. I was getting into it.
Yeah, I love playing it more than doing all the homework.
It isn't the thing that like whenever you're playing, you want to DM,
Yeah,
and whenever you're
that's-
DMing, you want to play.
Except me, I just want to play.
That's the curse. Yeah, it's you always want the opposite, but
Well, I hope you liked this episode. Like and subscribe if you liked us. If you don't like us, still like and subscribe.
just for fun.
Just like ignore us, whatever. But like, just click that like button. We still have a giveaway.
we do.
Yeah.
Avengers playmats, 50 subs.
Yeah, we
50
said
subs.
50 subs.
50 subs.
We'll
Yeah,
give
we'll
away.
give away some playmats. But yeah, thanks for joining in, guys.
And have a fantastic Buddies Much day.